The British Carp Cups on YouTube is brought to you by Eclipse Baits. Let's feed them.
One lake, 12 pairs of anglers, 48 hours and one goal. So who's going to be crowned our Northern Carp Cup champions? We're here at Q Lake in York. It's called Q Lake because when you look at it from the sky, it's the shape of a Q. It's certainly an unusual lake. The anglers are expectant, they want to get to their pegs, so let's get this competition underway.
So, 3 hours into the match, and we have our first fish of the competition to peg 13. Scott Dowles and Steve Blow. Mick Coxon from the British Carp Cups pops it onto the scales.
It is.
And it weighs 17 pounds exactly. Now, this is a grass carp, not a member of the king carp family, but the British Carp Cups allow these species into the competitions. These grass carp are certainly a bit lively.
Jump start.
Like a torpedo, isn't it?
Yeah. Torpedo fish.
So I'm joined by Craig, fishery bailiff. Q Lake, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, basically the lake's been open for about 9 years now. Back in 2008 is when it opened. There's approximately stock of 300 fish in here. We know there's 50 plus 20s in here, and there's also catfish in here. So it's like high 50s, good stock of them. There's 12 to 15 of them. Basically, it's a good runs right on its day. It was just proven in the past with Mick.
Yeah.
The average 40 to 60 fish out in previous years.
That's good going.
Yeah, it's not been fishing the greatest. It's going to be a tricky one, I think.
You think so, yeah?
Yeah, I think.
Well, we've got 48 hours,
Yeah.
so a lot can happen in 48 hours, but you reckon it can start off slow?
Yeah, we had a qualifier not so long ago and that struggled along a little bit. So if it's similar sort of gauge to that, then I think it'll be the same sort of stamp.
What would be your fancied pegs?
It's hard to say with this southwesterly wind that's blowing that way into 7.
Yeah.
So anywhere from 7, like 4 to 8 sort of thing, that sort of.
In that area,
yeah. I reckon that's the ones. You may have some sitting in the back of the wind, like in 13, if you're in this area. It has proven a good peg in the past, peg 13.
Well, let's see how it pans out.
Yeah.
Thanks for your input.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Sean and Gaz, peg 7. How do you feel about your draw?
We're pretty happy with it, really. Yeah. It's I think it's one of the more favoured pegs on the lake. As you can see behind us, wind's hacking right into this bay that we're fishing into. So yeah, we're chuffed with it, really.
We've seem to have the wind all this weekend, and usually the fish follow wind.
Yeah.
Just potential going to be a few fish stacked up in your swim.
Well, we've seen a few. We got down here early yesterday, had a walk round, and this corner was full of them. So yeah, we're happy out with it.
Absolutely. But when you get the flying peg, also comes a bit of pressure to produce out of the flying peg, which, you know, we just hope it kicks off for us where the fish are. They're in heavy weed, which is one of the downsides to having this swim. It is full of weed at the back bay.
So I guess you've got a tactic to fish that, have you? Or approach what the swim you've got in front of you, should I say?
Yeah, what we're thinking is, it is quite weedy, so we're going to fish up to that weed, because that's where the fish seem to be holding.
Yep.
And just maybe solid bags tight to that weed bed. Yeah.
Try and nick a bite.
try and nick
one
a
at a
bite,
time,
yeah,
mate.
yeah.
One at a time. Yeah.
We don't want to go
Hopefully.
crashing into the weed straight away. There is a boat rule, and you know, some anglers probably would fish into the weed where the fish are, but because we've got the full weekend to fish, we don't really want to smash the swim up early doors by casting into it, possibly losing a fish, having to use a boat. So we're just going to fish up to the weed for now, see if we can nick a bite, see how we do.
Peg 1, Christian Hughes and Daniel Holliday, and Christian is attached to a Welsh catfish, and these certainly do not count in a match. Well, Christian, give us your thoughts on that.
It'll do, won't it? It's a canter, innit?
Do you think that's a weigher, Mick? Unweighed, this little cat is returned back to the lake.
Definitely not.
The first day passed very slowly, with the carp not playing ball. The lake has shut up shop, and as we go into the first night, we hope that the sport certainly picks up. As Saturday morning dawns, we have at last had some carp to weigh in, and first is our current leaders Scott Dowse and Steve Blow in peg 13. Mick Coxon looking at the scales and calls it
18 pounds 1 ounce.
It's £18 1 ounce. This pretty ghost carp helps to extend the lead for Scott and Steve. These are ghost carp, and they get their name because of the metallic sheen across their body and are a result of breeding between a common or a mirror carp with a koi carp. And you can clearly see why it's called a ghost carp as it swims away.
So, round in peg 6 with Liam 7 and David Staniforth, and Liam has one to weigh in. And up on the scales with Mick Coxon, it weighs £16 5 ounces. Liam and David are off and running with this pretty £16 5 ounce mirror. These boys are regulars at the British Carp Cup matches and consistently do well in all the competitions.
Smile.
It's a really pretty fish, you know.
Not a bad fish. Nice one.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
This is peg 4 with Jason Traut and Darren Wilcox. Lovely fish of £12 2 ounces. Our 2015 Northern Carp Cup champions are off the mark with a lovely £12 2 ounce fish. Well, we did say that Jason and Daz are great match anglers, and there they are, they're into another fish again. This fish has swam through their other lines, and Darren is trying his best to land this fish over the top of a marginal weed bed. Tense times indeed. It's heads up now. It's going into the net. Yes, safely landed. Another carp to Jason and Darren in peg 4. Well, there it is, Paul, on the scales.
13.2.
£13 2 ounce. And these guys are chasing Scott and Steve for the lead in these blustery and wet conditions. But it's good carpy weather. It's turning into a good match now after a really slow start. And here is our 2016 Northern Carp Cup champion Chris Donovan in peg 5, fishing this year with Jason Monk with their first carp of the match.
£19 14.
And at £19 14 ounces, These boys look pretty pleased with this fish. To defend his title, Chris is going to need a few more of these fish along with the help of Jason. It's a stunning common nonetheless.
Straight back out. You know where to go.
We spoke to them earlier, Sean Atkinson and Gary Elliott in peg 7. Looked to have a half decent carp to weigh in. Popped on the scales, and it is indeed over 20 pounds.
20 pound 12.
20 pound 12 ounce to Sean and Gaz. This pretty mirror puts these boys straight into contention for the Northern Carp Cup. No tongues, boys.
At the midway point, here is how the leaderboard is shaping up here at Poolbridge Q Lake. Current leaders with 2 carp, 35 pound and 1 ounce are Steve Blow and Scott Dowse in peg 13, followed by Darren Wilcox and Jason Traut in peg 4, also with 2 carp for 25 pound 4 ounce. Sean Atkinson and Gaz Elliott with that 1 mirror carp for 20 pound 12 ounce puts them up in 3rd place, and with Chris Donovan and Jason Monk and Leon Seven and David Staniforth close behind, the title is still up for grabs. So, Gaz, Sean, at the halfway point of the match, what's been going on?
Well, Sean's managed to winkle one, but we've
And
had
lose a couple.
but we've had to go into the weed for them.
Yeah. So you've gone to plan B?
Yeah, gone to plan B. What happened, we watched them boshing, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I was sat on my hands thinking, we need to be in this weed.
Yeah.
This is where the fish are, this is where the fish are. Then early morning, a couple more stuck their head out. Sean said, right, come on, we'll do this. Let's get in there.
But to be fair, the fish that we have hooked and the fish that we've caught have been right on the edge of the weed.
Yeah.
But we've just changed tactics. Rather than the solid bags now, we've gone to zigs. Little red zigs, just bombing red maggot over the top, and that just we seem to have got what they're wanting now. So hopefully
you found the tactic.
Yeah, we found what's working for us.
And if they are a little bit in the weed or just not in on the fringe, we know we're up in the water and we're safe. We're not sort of
we're just drifting them maggots in towards that weed bed, and I think gradually they're just coming out to the edge, and that's what we mean.
Well, it sounds a sound tactic, and you lads know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So let's hope you get a couple more fish on the bank.
Hopefully.
Let's hope so, mate.
Yeah. Now we've given away the tactic, we need to, don't we?
Yeah, we'll keep it quiet.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Daz, Jace, former Northern champions, here at a place which must feel like home, Q Lake for you.
Yeah, it's a local water, so it's a natural choice for us, I suppose, for qualifiers and things like that. We've sort of we've been tarred with one peg really for about the last 5 or 6 matches, so it's nice to be in a different swim.
Yeah. Well, you're not in that peg this week, that's right. And you've had a couple of fish, so you must be sort of happy from where you are on the lake, what happened in the draw, etc. I know the weather is against us, it's like a hoolie at the moment.
Well, to be fair, we have fished this peg before in practice and in previous matches, so we do know it a little bit. We know quite a few people have qualified up here, so we weren't unhappy with the draw anyway, really. So
yeah.
And to catch a couple, we thought we were well in there. So
that's it. You're in second. Yeah. You're not far off of Steve and Scott in first. Who are in peg 13.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's one fish, though, isn't it? You know, but it's one fish even for anybody who hasn't caught yet. There's potentially there is a couple of fish that could take them straight into first place. So
that's right.
It's all to play for.
Definitely. There's other anglers that are all on one fish, so anything can happen. Who knows? You might be crowned the Northern champions again.
Fingers crossed.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Thank you, Lee.
Here we have Martin Howe and Lee Marshall in peg 10 with this perfect 22 pound 8 ounce mirror. These guys have been working so hard for this one, and it has come good for them on the Saturday afternoon. And with the carp now turning up in their swim, I'm sure they might be able to bag another one. Steve and Scott, peg 13.
Unlucky for some.
Unlucky for some, but it might be lucky for you because you're in the lead.
At the minute, yeah. Bit close though.
Trophy!
Yeah,
Trophy.
Gracie's wants a trophy. So, how's it fishing? Is it fishing slow for this place? It is really, isn't it?
Yeah, very slow, yeah. Yeah, Scott did well, had a couple early on.
Had a 17 and a 18 out yesterday. I've
Yep.
not had a fish so far today. Steve's had a bit of action.
Little baby, and unfortunately lost a couple as well. Which
That's never nice to hear.
Yeah, which would have made us a bit more comfortable. So.
Gracie's lost her shoe. We'll pick that up in a minute.
And now another shoe.
And now they're both off. What a nightmare. So you've come off the back of a first place and a second place. So,
second and then a first.
well, a second and then a
Other way
first.
round,
Yeah,
but
the
yeah.
other way round. But I want to put the first because you finished
Well,
first.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Again.
So, do you think you can be Northern Carp Cup champions?
It's possible at the minute. If it goes very quiet and stays quiet, I think we're in with a shout tonight. Most people have caught in the day.
Yeah.
So Scott had what, 11 last night?
11 o'clock last
Yeah.
night, I had a 18-pound ghosty.
So that's the bite time you're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In between 10 and 11 last night, we had 3 or 4 takes, landed 1.
3 takes, one, it landed 1.
Still, any team could win this.
It's still wide open, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very wide open.
I want the trophy.
And Gracie really wants this trophy, so you two are going to have to work hard to get that trophy for her.
We'll be up all night.
Good luck to you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
As the sun sets on Saturday evening, Christian Hughes, Daniel Holiday are trying to make up for the disappointment of landing that catfish earlier on. And this one is definitely a carp, and it looks like a good one at that.
You need to drag him more.
The carp has kited to its right, and Christian is applying some side strain in an attempt to turn the carp and bring it to Dan's waiting net. It's heads up, and it's going in the net.
Get in. Well done, buddy. That's a prop one, isn't it?
Hit me 20, hit me 20.
It is, it's
21.
It's
Up on the scales now,
Call it 21-1.
£21 1 ounce.
21
Great
one.
result for
Yeah.
Christian and Dan.
Yeah.
That's a cracking ghost carp to put them up on the leaderboard. Christian, a former Midlands champion, along with Dan, who is the 2015 British Carp Cup champion. These lads are now in contention.
Can't smile, Christian. It's not against the law.
I can't smile. You'll find that over time. Happy days.
And so, as the sun sets over Kew Lake, we go into the final night of the Northern Carp Cup. Is the title still up for grabs? Let's see what the final morning brings us, and see if Scott and Steve have their lead, or if they've been overtaken. Jason and Daz in peg 4 have another one to weigh in, but will it be big enough to take the lead? £15 1 ounce. That will take them into top spot for the time being. However, we need to find out what Scott and Steve have got waiting for us. So let's get ourselves round the lake to find out what else has been caught.
£12 2.
Peg 8 with the Queen brothers, Dean and Darren, with this dark £12 2 ounce common. One of two they have caught overnight and this morning.
Eclipse it. What we eat is, yeah.
Dean and Darren are also regulars at the British Carp Cups, and these two carp will put them into 4th position. Lee Marshall and Martin Howell have had this belter at £20 and 1 ounce, and by my calculations put these guys into 2nd place, depending on what Scott and Steve have had to weigh in, but it certainly puts them into a podium position. So let's have a chat with them now and get their feelings on the final morning.
Lee, Martin, peg 10. This match has been strange to say the least. And at the first 36 hours, I think you'd have thought, I'm camping.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we weren't impressed with the swim when the draw was done, and then like you say, the first 24 hours, just we didn't see anything. Nothing was happening in front of us. It's pretty featureless. I mean, you've got a weed bed on the far bank, but in between, it's pretty featureless. And then we started seeing a couple of fish, didn't we? Sort of after lunchtime on the Saturday.
Yeah.
We decided to swap over to zigs. And basically, within about 4 o'clock, 3 or 4 hours later, my rod rattled off with the 22 pound.
So that's what I mean. Things suddenly changed. Saturday afternoon, we're on Sunday morning now, and you're in a qualifying position. What happened?
Well, basically we tried everything. We were fishing on the bottom, we were fishing bags, floaters, everything. And then we just decided to go shallow on zigs, just under the surface. And Martin's just, like Martin said, within an hour it rattled off. So we just thought we just need to stick to zigs, and that's what we did.
And that's it. It's 2 fish, qualifying position. You must be nervous. Everybody's close in this.
It's
2nd to 4th.
It's probably the tightest match we've been involved in. Really. We've been in some tight ones, but this is literally a pound and a few ounces, and you could be out of it. You know what I mean? It's so tight in the top 8.
Are you sticking to your same tactics? You're not gonna.
No, we're sticking to it. With the weather we've got this morning, it's ideal.
Yeah, it's perfect.
We've started seeing them sort of porpoising out on the weed line over there. So it's yeah, we're sticking to the same tactic.
It's close, guys. We wish you luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So let's see what Steve and Scott have got for us. Have they done enough to hold their lead? Well, they certainly have. 4 carp to weigh in, including this one at 12 pounds. Look at these 2 stunning carp in the morning sunlight, and the sun is shining on Scott and Steve as they increase their lead for the Northern Carp Cup final.
14 and they have 2 more to weigh in also at £14 3 ounces and £17 10.
Unless anything incredible happens, I think you're looking at our 2017 Northern Carp Cup champions. A great bit of angling by these 2, staying up all night and working the swim has paid off with 4 more carp to their total.
That's right, Paul. Not content to rest on their laurels, they continue to fish hard in an attempt to lure more carp into their nets and increase their lead even further. So let's leave them to it and go and have a chat with the Queen brothers, who are currently sitting in 4th.
Darren and Dean, peg 8. Started off a little bit slow, but it all came good last night, but not without dramas.
No, definitely not. I think the first take were just before 11. Just before, yeah. Got snapped off as soon as I picked rod up.
Ouch.
Kicking and screaming a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
swearing a bit.
As you can imagine, I said a lot of things politely and with a low tempo. But as soon as I sat back down to start getting a new bag tied up, second rod zipped straight off. So
you forgot about the loss and then concentrate on this one?
I did. It come in quite easily. Got us on
fight on board. Yeah, we'll bang
didn't it? So.
And what was that one? That was a low 20, wasn't it? Or just under 20?
No, that was a 14.
Oh, it was, yeah, correct.
14, 13, I think it was, yeah. But it got us on the scoreboard.
Got us on the scoreboard, and then another one.
Yeah, about 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, happy with that one. But as that, like you said, everyone else said on here, it's really close.
It's too close to call.
Everyone's wanting one more fish just for that safety net.
Well, as it stands, you're in a qualifying position.
Yeah, 4th.
But there's a lot of good anglers here, so you got a little bit worried.
Oh,
we're touching a little bit. We're tapping down there.
We've entered these competitions a few times now, and we never go through easy. It's always nail bite. It's normally the last night we actually start catching as well.
Which is same again.
It's happened again, yeah. Well, a couple of hours to go. Anything can happen.
Yeah,
stay positive.
Just had a few beeps as well.
I know, as we're standing here, they're getting a few bleeps, so could be another one on the cards, eh?
Definitely. We'll be happy if it does.
Gives a bit of a cushion, like, won't it?
It would, we would. Good luck, guys.
Nice one.
Cheers,
thank you.
That.
So as we enter the last few minutes of the match, Micah Judo and Jonathan Fisher in peg 9 have hooked into a last minute carp. As Micah does battle, Jonathan is poised with a net. Looks like a nice mid-double. There it goes into the net. With 5 minutes to spare, Micah and Jonathan land this perfect little 13 pound 10 ounce common. Well done, lads. That cut it really close.
Back in the peg with our leaders, seconds before the final hooter. And there we have it. Your 2017 Northern Carp Cup champions are Scott Dowes and Steve Blow.
No problem. Well done, guys.
Yes, thanks very much.
Congratulations.
An impressive display of angling by Steve Blow and Scott Dowse, who took the crown with 8 carp for £117, 1 ounce from peg 13.
And our runners up are Martin Howe and Lee Marshall in peg 10 with their 2 carp for £42 and 9 ounces.
This was closely followed in third with £40 and 5 ounces with Darren Wilcox and Jason Traut from peg 4.
And the final qualifying position in the British Carp Cup finals goes to Darren and Dean Queen with £26 and 15 ounces.
A really big well done to all the anglers who have given us a great competition.
So let's get ourselves over to the presentation.
In 4th place, brothers Dean and Darren Queen with 2 fish for $26.15. Well done, guys. In 3rd place with 3 fish for £40, 5 ounce, Darren Wilcox and Jason Traut. And they didn't even fish 48 hours. Well done. And in runners-up position, with a very creditable 2 fish for £42, 9 ounces, Martin Howe and Lee Marshall. Well done. Well done. Cheers. In 1st place with 8 fish for £117, 1 ounce, Steve Blow, but this time fishing with Scott Dowse. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Well, congratulations, Northern Carp Cup champions. How does it feel?
Yeah, good. Really happy. So.
Yeah, Scott?
Yeah, happy. We got the fish in second morning after a few wasp fish on the first day, Saturday.
It was a very difficult match. It was slow to start with, and it seems like even though you guys had a massive lead, it was something you had to really work for.
Yeah, it was still very tight. One good fish would have still, until last night, would have still put us into second or third. So
yeah, you had a blinding night last night, and that's what really
changed last night.
Crushed the opposition, shall we say?
Yeah, it was quiet most places, and we had quite a few fish moving again. They seemed to like it down here on a night. So.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you did say night time was going to be the bite time, and you proved right.
Yeah, well, we was told that, to be honest. It wasn't something we knew, but we found out. So
working hard through the night, not much sleep, as usual with you guys in these matches. When there's an opportunity, you tend to take it.
I think 20 minutes last night, I think I got, and you had about 45 minutes or something.
Oh, so you were the slacker then.
Yeah, well, I kept up getting up for fish.
Well, no, congratulations, lads. Well done on being Northern Carp Cup champions.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Brilliant stuff. See you at Orchard.
Yeah, see you at the finals.
So that's the conclusion of the Northern Carp Cup final here at Poolbridge, Q Lake.
And a massive congratulations to Steve and Scott.
Now we move on to Orchard Place Farm for the British Carp Cup's final.
And we'll see you there.
The British Carp Cups on YouTube is brought to you by Eclipse Baits. Let's feed them.